Hey guys, welcome back to another Planetside 2 video. Today we'll be taking a look at the M60-G Bulldog, which back in the beta was called the M60 Mortar. Currently it has been split between two weapons, the M60-G and the M60A, which are its ground and air variants respectively. After my previous video on the M60, I found out that it was a pitiful waste of the 12,500 Araxium it cost to buy it, since its stats were all incorrect and it was utterly bugged for most of the beta. Back then I also compared it to the P2-120 Heat, which is the default main cannon on the Prowler, and the Sunderer's default weapon, the M20 Basilisk, which both outperformed it in every respect. To start, we'll take a look at the current stats of all three weapons to see how the devs have worked on it. How the stats of all three accurately depict the weapons instead of it making it look like they were similar in range and damage. So overall, it looks like they knocked out the kinks in the stat bars, which is a nice thing because you need to know what you're buying, especially if you're spending station cash on it. So now let's look at the range of the Bulldog. So before the M60 Mortar could barely reach 115 meters at max range. Now the reticule works and it can easily hit that mark, as well as pass to visible range much like the Prowler. However, due to the arc, I can see why it was reclassified as medium range instead of very long range, since that's probably as far as most players will be able to use it accurately. So the range has been heavily improved. First major problem solved. Now on to damage. At first I didn't bother taking the mortar's damage into account, because with the range that bad, you were never going to get close enough to hit your target. However, after some nasty rumors that Vonu M60s were blowing everything up in mere seconds, I went to test out and found out, well, its damage sucks too. The Vonu merely had a bug that increased the fire rate by so much that the entire magazine emptied nearly instantly. So let's test out the actual damage now. So 15 shots. The first time I did this it took 25 shots, which means the Bulldog has had a good damage buff, but its magazine size has also been reduced. Even with this buff you shouldn't directly engage armor though, the fire rate is pretty low and heavy armor isn't affected by its splash damage, which means you'd need all direct hits. So it might come in handy when helping friendlies tackle some armor, but you're better off sticking to infantry with it. So all my major issues with the Bulldog are gone now. The reticule works, the range is better, the bugs are gone. The damage is a bit weaker than I'd expect, but overall it's been improved greatly. So the big question is it worth it? The M60-G Bulldog costs 250 certs or 500 station cash, which puts it in the lower end of weapon prices. And yes, it's had some drastic changes made to it for the better, but it's still quite limited in its use compared to other weapons out there. It's near useless against air, and it's slow to kill armor. In this case, it depends what type of Sunderer you use to justify the purchase. If you use an AMS, a vehicle repairer, or a vehicle resupplier, Sunderers that stay in the back, you're probably better off not spending the points on the Bulldog, because at least with the Basilisk you can defend your vehicle against anything that comes at you, to some extent. If you use a Gatecracker though, or something in your face driving straight into lines of enemy infantry, you could find the Bulldog to be pretty useful. So in the end, it's a matter of your playstyle for sure. One more thing before I go, if you have any suggestions, complaints, compliments, any way I could improve my videos, please go ahead and tell me. I think there's something missing with them, and I'd like to get them into that nice spot where it just works and feels right. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.